That is a big freaking banner. I went to the post office this morning to check the mail, and we got a few packages in. First one I open up is this giant ETS banner. It was from Roberto. So Roberto, I really appreciate you sending this over. And we also got some ETS stickers. Super stoked to hang this up in the shop. I love ETS parts, they're amazing. Also got a package from Andrew in Canada. Oh, shoot. Oh, this is amazing. Check this out. This is one of my favorites. Weekends are for ship boxes. This is a freaking amazing flag. So this flag was from the guys over at S Boys TV. They do have a YouTube channel as well if you guys want to check them out. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for sending anything over that you ever send. It's sick. Before we get started into today's video, in 3 days, this Friday, February 12th at noon Pacific Standard Time, we are having a mini, kind of like a mini drop on the website. New t-shirts, long sleeves, new jet tags are gonna be on there. We still do have some stock of like the winter jackets, and we are launching a whole entire brand new website, which I know you guys are gonna love, not because of like all the dope clothing that's gonna be on there, but for another reason that we'll discuss later on, probably Thursday or Friday. Keep that in mind, 12 o'clock Pacific Standard Time this Friday. So I've been reading comments on the video that went up yesterday with the fuse box relocation. A lot of you guys are pointing out a very, very good point, okay? The point is that this thing's gonna get water in it. It is mounted upside down. The reason I originally mounted upside down was so we would have access to it. All we'd have to do is pull off the bumper. It's gonna be very easy. The whole bumper is gonna be a quick release setup. So it'd take like 2 seconds to pop the bumper off to get to the fuse box. If we have it mounted the opposite way, pretty sure the headlight would be in the way to get the cover off of it, but this is not gonna work. I just realized there's little holes right here in the top of this thing, well, the bottom of this thing, but now the top of this thing. That's gonna let water in. I'm sure if water gets in this little crack right here, she's gonna seep through. I don't really not ever wanna drive this car in the snow or the rain or worry about washing it, so we need to come up with a solution. I think we really have two options. There's always an option. There's always a solution. Option one, leave it like this. Build a little box around this thing, pretty much like a cover. So it'd go like this, kind of come around these wires a little bit, go down, pretty much something to cover up these holes. I think that would help or probably prevent any water from going in there. Number two, kind of redo the setup, flip it around, get it sitting how it should, face up, redo the brackets, and hopefully we can still get the cover off. So let's mess around with it because this is not gonna work. I was pumped to come here in the morning, bang out that harness, get it all situated, get it 100% done and move on to this car. But thanks to you guys, you're saving the day again. So let's get this figured out. All right, so I did a little bit of testing. We really can only mount, if we're gonna keep it right here, we can mount it sideways like that, which we're still gonna have the same problem. There's holes all over the side of this thing. Mounting it up, I don't really see that being an option, or go back to how we had it, mount it down, mount it upside down like that, and build that little box. I was looking online how everyone else is doing this relocation. There is a ton of people that actually put it right up here, but they're also mounting it upside down. So I think I want to go with the option of just putting it back how it was. We already have the brackets built, throw a little box around it, and then we could seal off all the holes on the bottom. And I think we'd be fine. I don't know. I don't really know what else to do. I don't want to just scrap this entire project because we're so freaking close, but I also don't want to constantly have water in the fuse box. So let's get this thing mounted back up in place. And I'm not sure if we have material here to build a little box or a little cover for it, but we'll get it figured out. So what if we did something just like this, guys? A little metal box around the actual fuse. Oh wow, sick blood. Little metal box around the fuse box itself that would prevent any water from washing it or rain or anything coming down. That'd completely seal off the top, and then on the bottom, on the actual lid itself, we could always poke some little holes in it, kind of like how there is on the bottom of the fuse box, just in case if moisture did get in there, it would drain right out. Why wouldn't this work? Comment below. I'm gonna build it either way. I know this is gonna help a lot, and it'd be easy to build. Whipped it up out of cardboard. We just need to trim the bottom a little bit, but look at, we pretty much already have mounts. If we came out a little bit right there, bolted onto the fuse box right there, and then maybe a little tab that runs over to that mount as well. That'd be perfect. Beautiful. Went around the wiring harness. Yeah, that shouldn't be too terrible to cut up. I would just have to find someone to weld it. I need to buy a welder. That is what we need to build. So I got it all torn apart. It doesn't need to be anything thick, just a little box, you know, a little shield. Maybe we should just leave it cardboard. I don't know. If I could say I don't know so much. Not really seeing any sort of steel, like sheet metal around the shop. May have to go to Lowe's. I have aluminum. I'd rather do it out of sheet metal. So we got the cardboard traced out onto this aluminum here. I went to Lowe's to try to find sheet metal, like steel sheet metal. Couldn't find any, so I figured we might as well just make it out of aluminum. We gotta cut all that stuff out. That's a little piece we gotta cut out that is for one of the mounts. And then, yeah, we can bend it up, get it all shaped how it should be, and have it welded.
What up? I probably got chocolate milk on my face.
We really don't have the best utensils or tools for cutting. We have that skill saw, which kind of works on aluminum, but it destroys the blade. We have the Sawzall, which works better, but you can't really get a straight line. And we have a cutoff wheel. So we're gonna use this and a Sawzall, and we're gonna get this thing cut out. It may not be perfect, but at least she built though. So we got the aluminum all cut up. Now we just need to make some bends. There's quite a few bends to make. This piece that's sticking out right there, that is for the lid. And I plan on just bending that down. Little bit of welding required, but not too much. This is what we came up with. It needs to be welded closed, and I know it's definitely not the most beautiful thing in the world, but it's gonna do the trick. That little tab right there is one of the mounts, and then we're gonna have to weld one on this side as well. But I think that'll work. Beautiful. The boys have been asking where you been.
Things have been going too smooth. We need to break things.
True. What are you gonna break today?
I don't know. I haven't really touched anything yet, so I guess whatever I lay my hands on is going.
Don't touch my damn box, bro. Now, of course, all these gaps will be closed up when it's welded, but you guys get the point. What do you think? Not bad for a little do-it-yourself box built with a skill saw. I can dig it. We're gonna have to trim that tab down a little bit. That tab is gonna bolt on to that hole right there. And then I think we should probably do another mount on this side, just in case if it rattles. I'd rather have two mounts versus one. Being that the shop is still a mess from cutting all the aluminum for the fuse box cover, we might as well go ahead and build the one other aluminum piece that we got to build. That is the Fusible link box mount. We're doing it the same exact way we did it on the Black 8. Two studs here are gonna get nuts. So it's gonna be a little bend, come out, a little bend there, and bolt on right there. So a flat area here, just a nice place to mount that Fusible link setup, and should look pretty nice and clean. We got this little plate built, came out pretty good. Definitely gonna be powder coated black. I feel like everything's going black. Trying to figure out how we want to mount this fusible link. So this here is off of an Evo 10, picked it up off of MEP. So there's 3 pieces, fusible link itself, this little box, and then the cover. And those 3 pieces are like $65-ish, I believe. And it makes for a super clean setup. So if you guys want to pick that up, I'll link it down below. So we can either do that or that. That there is how we have it on the Black 8. And it's a decent look. I'm kind of thinking like this though, because that red cover will, like, you know, it'll look good. But we can figure that out later. Plate is built. That's all that matters. That's all we had to do. Drill some holes in the plate for this mount when we figure out how we want to actually run the wiring. But we can do that when the motor's back in the car and we run all this wiring here. I'm happy we got the fuse box issue sorted out, or at least I think we did. Won't really know until we like actually put the car in use, like start driving it, washing it, whatnot, to see if the fuse box is actually gonna get wet. But I'm 99% sure that should take care of any issues whatsoever. Now we just need to finish up extending these wires. So we have 4 left. I did see some comments about soldering versus crimping. We are soldering all this. Some people were saying to crimp it. Some people were saying soldering's fine. After doing research, it sounds like soldering may come loose after a while from vibration. And then other things I read or watch say that soldering's better. I don't really know. I feel like they're both good. I could be wrong. I don't know much about electrical stuff. So I'm gonna continue soldering, and if we have issues down the road, it wouldn't be all that hard to redo it all. There's only 11 wires that we'd have to crimp instead of solder. So I'm gonna finish up soldering. We got this guy all finished up. All the wires are way too long, but I'd rather have them too long than too short. So all we have to do is connect everything to the car side now, the car side of the harness. So right about right there. And then we can get everything wrapped up, cleaned up, good looking, and hopefully it works. So this is where we're at right now with the wiring. It's all bundled up in some Tessa tape, I believe it's called. So I want to put it inside a loom like this, and then we can get all mounted up, but I have not been able to find a loom yet. I'm gonna run through, clean up all of this right here. All this electrical tape is pretty nasty and falling apart. So I'm gonna re-wrap all of that, make it nice and pretty. Should make it look a lot better. Let's call that good for now. That looks 1,000 times better. As soon as we get this cover welded up and powder coated, mounted on, I think I'm gonna try to attach this loom to that shield somehow, and that should look pretty nice. I pulled out the AYC pump, or I guess it's the ACD pump. You guys keep correcting me. And I did some reading online. Well, I was gonna go buy a new one. They are like $800. I found a rebuild kit for about $100, and it includes everything that we really need. All the seals, O-rings, the pump plate, this bearing right here that's pretty much seized up. So we need to figure out how to get this thing apart. Both these bolts are seized in here. So if we can, ideally, if we can just get this piece and this piece separated, we could drill and tap the housing itself, sandblast everything, Cerakote it, make it look brand new again, pick up the rebuild kit, rebuild this thing, we'll be back to square one. We'll be good to go. I just watched a little ACD pump repair tutorial. Apparently there's 2 more bolts somewhere in all that corrosion that we got to find, and that's why this thing won't come apart, is what I'm guessing. So let's find those bolts, and then I think we can get this thing apart. This guy still will not come apart, so I need to run in and grab some good penetrating oil. I know liquid wrench is a good one, and PB Blaster as well. All we have is WD-40, and that's not really a penetrating oil. We need to get it down in those threads and get everything loosened up. I think if we just keep this guy soaked every few hours for a few days, it should come apart. We did break this piece over here, pulling it off, and I think that should be able to be welded up just fine. I don't know why it couldn't be. Look how freaking corroded this stuff gets. So this is sandblasted, and that is super corroded. I'm kind of glad we pulled this thing apart. Whenever we get that fuse box cover welded up, we can get this guy fixed as well. Someone had a really good comment, a really good point about the wiring. So just a minute ago, we had this whole loom right here coming across the frame rail, and we decided to go under the frame rail. The wire that is coming to all this stuff over here, the fans, horn, whatnot, instead of running it up top on the core support, we went on that bottom rail down there. And look how clean that looks now. Beautiful. Let's keep moving forward, getting some more parts cleaned up, installed, and getting this thing back together. We just got a few more goodies installed. One thing I really wanted to do before we got the brake booster in, but I completely spaced it, was add a little grommet in the firewall for that main power wire. The previous owner, or someone down the line, whoever did the battery relocation into the trunk, they literally just drilled a hole through the firewall, and so it was like power wire right on the metal, and it could have easily got cut through. So what I have, and it's gonna be a little bit more difficult now, but we can still get it done. These little guys right here. These things are perfect for going through the firewall. And as soon as you tighten the nut down, it squishes out the rubber and is a watertight fit. I use these for building headlights as well, but they're perfect for firewalls and punching through those. I feel like this is a good stopping point for today. I feel like we didn't make a ton of progress, but we got a few things done. Brake boosters on, all that good stuff is on. I'm hoping tomorrow that we can get this fuse box cover welded up. We also have to get this tile BOV little flange welded on our intercooler pipe because it's going to a tile BOV instead of the Greddy. And then hopefully this thing can be welded. She's a little cracked up. And we also have to get the throttle body welded. Stock, there's 2 ports right here with little nipples on them. I already pulled the brass nipples out, but I'm gonna get all 3 of these plugged up. It'd actually be kind of cool to just to shave that thing off, but I don't know if that's possible. Yeah, gonna get these three welded up. That's all for like the EGR, evap stuff that we deleted. And then we can Cerakote this guy as well. Anything you wanna add, Mr. Mechanic Bob?
I just want to go get a new vacuum.
Hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Peace out. I'll see you tomorrow.